Hi, this is Tom from Current Sound in Hollywood. I'm going to be talking about the new Cubase 10.5 update. This was originally going to be like a little instructional video for those that are thinking of updating and stuff like that, showing the new features. It wasn't a paid video, and you will be able to tell that it's not a paid video because things do not go according to plan. Hi, how you doing? This is Tom here from Current Sound. I'm going to be telling you about the brand new Cubase 10.5 update, so stay tuned for that. If you want just to hear about only the update, skip forward a couple of minutes. I'll tell you the exact time in the description below. For the rest of you, you might be a subscriber of mine, wondering who the hell is this guy. You know, I haven't really been on YouTube, and this is why I'm talking about this with the Cubase video, because they kind of relate to each other a little bit. Okay, so I haven't been on YouTube for 6 years, you know, about 6 years, 7 years, I don't know, whatever. A long time, you know. And I didn't need to be, because I had my studio in Australia, and I would be #1 on Google the whole time. You type in music producer, you would find me, you know, and I was working all the time. I really didn't have time to be doing the internet thing with the YouTube. Now, a lot of kids these days are using YouTube to kind of promote themselves as a beat maker, producer. I didn't really have to do that because I was already established when YouTube came along, you know, so I didn't really need to be making videos like that. But what I've noticed, and the reason why I'm talking about this in the Cubase video, is Cubase is expensive. Most people aren't buying it as their first door, right? They're getting like Logic or Studio One or whatever, and the Studio One's more newer. Ableton's been big for a long time. Because they're cheap, you know, like Logic is like $200 or whatever, and you get free updates for life. We're talking about the Cubase 10.5 update is $70. It's like half the price of the whole thing, you know, and you got to keep paying it each way if you want the new features, you know. Logic gives you free updates, you know, it's excellent value, you know. I'm not saying Steinberg's doing anything wrong. Logic and Steinberg can never compete, because here's the thing. Imagic, I think it was Imagic? Yeah, used to make Logic. And then Apple brought them out. It used to be $2,000. They brought them out and they dropped it to like $200. It's like a 90% discount, because they want to sell the illusion that Apple computers are better for music. There was nothing special about these Apple computers that made them better for music. You know, I've been using PCs since the 90s, right? Most of the guys that are using Cubase, not most, but a lot of them are using PCs, right? Because you can make your own custom computer, and you can have crazy amount of hard drives for your different, you know, libraries and instruments and stuff like that. You know, so the guys that do like Hans Zimmer's on the website right now for Steinberg, by the way. He would have a gigantic computer, bigger than what the Apple computer is. But you know, Apple brought out Logic to try to sell the illusion that their computers are better for music, even though they're using PC components and less powerful ones in a lot of them than what you can make yourself in a PC. But it worked, you know, and they're kind of like almost everyone that buys a Mac is kind of like paying into Logic in a way, because you're it's almost subsidized. I don't think they make any money off Logic at all. It probably actually runs at a loss. So here you have guys like Steinberg coming with their expensive software saying, hey, it's better, you should use it. And a lot of guys are sitting at home going, well, I don't care about these new features. It's too expensive. And to those people, I would say, okay, just use Logic. That's fine. You know, I don't really have a problem with that. You know, but I'm more of a traditional, like real music producer. You know, I play everything from scratch. I don't care about these Apple loops. I never use Apple loop in my life. I don't use a loop, right? I play everything from scratch on a keyboard. You know, I play the drums from scratch. I use drum loops. I make everything from scratch, but I don't just make beats. This is why I use Cubase. So this is why it's in the video. Okay, this is why I use Cubase. I don't just make beats for people. I make beats for people in person when they're in the studio for their ideas and their song. We're working together on one song. They're jumping on the mic. They're recording the vocals. I'm recording that into Cubase. I'm mixing the song. I'm mastering the song. I'm finishing the song. I started it until it's finished, mastered, then it gets released by their label or independently. No one touches it after they leave the studio. That's it, from scratch, right? Almost everyone that's using Logic is not doing that, right? Some guys might be, but most aren't, you know. What they're doing is they're making a little beat in Logic, they're taking that into another studio, they're recording in Pro Tools or whatever, then that goes to a mastering engineer, and then it's done, right? So I'm basically doing everything. So my workflow is very different, but I like to do it all in the one software. There's a big advantage of being able to mix, edit, master, record in the same software. I can like add an extra instrument in. You know, I can be working on a mix. I can tweak the actual synth rather than tweaking the EQ. I can like change and actually change the sound design. You know, and I do everything at once. Well, not really at once. Usually I do most of the production in the mix, but in the mixing stage, I'm also messing with the production a little bit, messing with the sound design a little bit. Having everything together and being able to alter it, you know, like, okay, so if someone comes in from a label, they might say, I don't like this part, right? I can alter it. What beat maker can alter it? Like, it's done. Like, they have to make a whole new song, you know, so I can actually alter things. So a lot of A&R guys like that, I dislike that because they have terrible ideas usually, and most of the time they're wrong. But I can alter it and can and will because I am a whore to whoever is paying me to do whatever. So I have the ability to alter it, you know, but what's cool about Cubase, okay, is they take the best features from each program, and this is what they've been doing in this update and all the updates, is that they've been going through a little stealing phase recently. They've been actually taking some of my suggestions. I said, hey, this is in Pro Tools, it would be great to have it in Cubase. They put one of my suggestions in the new update, so we're going to talk about that later. Even in the last few updates, I've been putting some of my suggestions in there, even some of my original ideas. You can kind of thank me for like a lot of the ideas, like the snapshots and all that stuff. It's all suggestions from me without any pay whatsoever, Steinberg, because I just write it on the forum and they do it, you know, so they should be paying me. Anyway, there is a new synth. We're going to be checking out this new synth. Even for the price, it still could be worth it for this this cool little synth if you don't have anything to do nice pads and stuff. I mainly use Omnisphere, so we're going to talk about that later. But this new synth would be really cool if you don't have anything kind of like that. And there's a few other cool features coming up in the new Cubase 10.5 update. And if you haven't seen what Cubase has been doing for like the last 5 years or 10 years, because, you know, for example, like most kids just pirate all their software, and Cubase hasn't been cracked since 2005, you know, so most people don't even know what's going on and just kind of oblivious to the fact that, like, you know, Cubase has all these mind-blowing features since then. You know, this update is not a mind-blowing update, okay? This is like a practical update, taking some stuff from other doors, putting it together that should have been in Cubase a long time ago, to be honest. I mean, I believe I suggested some of these features like a few years ago in the forums. But anyway, we're going to check out the brand new Cubase 10.5 update, and stay tuned, subscribe for other cool videos where I'm actually going to be making some music for people and doing some mixing and mastering behind the scenes. If you're interested in what goes on in a recording studio, even just for the general public, it's going to be cool because we're going to be making some songs from scratch. You're going to see how songs are being made from the ground up. So stay tuned to the new channel. Well, it's not the new channel, it's the old channel, but with the new me on it, because for the first time, I'm not able to rely on my reputation. I've moved to Hollywood, and now I'm doing what the little kiddies are doing, and I'm making the YouTube video, even though in Australia everyone knows who I am. I didn't have to do that. So I'm going to be making some videos for you guys. You get the benefit of someone very experienced on YouTube, which doesn't normally exist, which is why you don't normally hear about Cubase, because it's mainly professionals that are using it. But if you want to take some of your production and mixing to the next level, you can have a look at Cubase and see what it might be able to offer you. So stay tuned, and we're going to talk about the new Cubase 10.5 update. I was going to show you right in the new Cubase right now, but I'm just going to show you actually the process of paying for the update and talk about that, because it might not be as straightforward for you. It wasn't as straightforward for me. What actually happened was Bank of America froze my card temporarily. They were like, this looks suspicious. What is this transaction? I think because they're not in the US, they're overseas, you see. So it's a German company. I got to fill in a payment processor, even though it's in US dollars, isn't based here in the US. So, you know, they actually ended up freezing my card, and I had to text just to unfreeze it. And then they said, okay, well, you can do it again then. And then I brought the thing. So that was kind of interesting. But because they're not in the US, I avoided California sales tax. Didn't have to pay sales tax. So even though it's a little inconvenient, it's better because you save some money. If they were based here, there'd be tax on top of it. You just pay the actual was it 69? No, 59. You just pay the actual $59, you know, which is cool. All right, so let's move along. So 10.5 is installed. Is it working flawlessly? No, it's not. But I just fixed it. So I'm going to show you the quick fix. Alright, so this is only for people that are using older plugins and Jbridge. You need to run Cubase in administrator mode. Now you could just come over here and each time and right click and go run it in administrator mode. This is on Windows 10, by the way. However, open file location, We're just going to permanently make it run in administrator mode every time. Open file location, second time, right click, properties, compatibility, run program in administrator mode. Okay, so now next time you open Cubase, doesn't really matter where it's from, it's going to be in administrator mode. Now this is handy if you want to like run some old crazy plugins that they don't make anymore. I don't think they make these. Yeah, anyway, you can run some old trippy plugins that other people might not have. Jbridge classic plugins. Oh, these are the old Cubase ones. Oh no, they're not. Yeah, no, these are just ones that make them. Speakerphone. This was a cool one. I don't think they make speakerphone anymore. It simulates phones. You can click on your phone, whatever phone you want. Well, look, it's a bit buggy, but it's still running. You can make it sound like a Nokia. So get that telephone effect. I usually use EQ, but this actually does a little more. Anyway, Orange vocoder. That was a classic plugin in the 90s. You can still run it. But if you want to do these things, that's the fix. So yeah, I just showed you the little fix there. All right. Other than that, now we can get started. So let's get into it. All right. So we have found our first bug. So we're going to do a little mini bug report. I don't actually recommend upgrading to anything when it's like this is the same day. You know, I mainly just did this for YouTube. Usually I would wait give it a month or two, wait it out a little bit. Okay, so right now it looks like my presets, and I actually made one of these. I'm gonna have to change it because I'm gonna get like all these annoyed people on my blog. I actually made this dark preset for Windows 10 to make everything dark. It looks like it's completely forgotten everything. And look what's happened. Everything on the screen is just gone. So this is a bug. You can't select a Cubase 10 preset. It will just destroy everything. And even if I go back to this color scheme, all it's really doing is the background here. It's not really changing anything. I could just put this on default. Our default is gonna work. I can select this button. Nothing happened. Defaults. Apply? What the hell? Yeah, alright. So my review is not positive so far. I like some of the features, but damn, this is unusable. I think that's for the mixer. I mean, why would you want it red? Oh shit, oh, that is it. Okay, so look at all these. They're all gone transparent. So in order to get it back how I want it, I'm gonna have to like manually cut. This is a pain in the ass. To manually come in and make these all like, I like to have them gray. So I have to manually come and make these gray. I don't know why it doesn't bring the preset over from 10. Damn you, Cubase! Alright, so I'm gonna mess with this for a little while and then I'll touch back with you guys and I'll let you know how it went. Alright, so I've got it so that I can actually see stuff, and I couldn't actually make it as dark as my other dark themes. I don't even know if I want to call it the dark theme anymore. It's almost like the dark theme is over. Had some cool Cubase dark themes that I had, and I even shared those online so people could grab them. Yeah, I mean, you can't really make it dark like that, which is just sucky. Like, you upgrade to get the extra features, then I have to sacrifice on the look a little bit. Okay, so previously in Cubase, what you had to do, and this is one of the things, this is actually a feature request of mine, is before you couldn't just import mass data from one song to another one, which didn't make any sense because you could do this in Pro Tools, right? So in Cubase, okay, let's say you recorded a band, you got 12 microphones on a drum kit, right? So you have overheads, individual mics, maybe a couple of room mics or whatever, and it can add up to a lot of microphones, right? And you would manually EQ that drum kit, right? But what if in that same session you recorded like half an album or a full album? Why would you start from scratch EQing every single drum sound when you just EQ'd it in the last song? You know what I mean? So what you would have to do if you wanted the levels and everything is you would have to do it like this. You would have to come into Cubase, right? And this would take forever. You would come along, You go save selected channel for whatever one it is. This is just an example. I'm on a lead vocal now. You call that lead vocal, blah, blah, blah. You do that for everything so that you would have consistent vocal sound, consistent drum sound for a band. But it's not just for bands, even just for artists, even just for getting like, even just for getting a consistent vocal across an album. You know, like for example, Snoop Dogg, he has the same damn vocal preset, like almost in every single song. You know what I mean? Even if it doesn't fit the song, that's his Snoop Dogg sound. And Rihanna kind of does the same thing. She has her vocal sound. You know, and a lot of artists like their own sound. So I do. It is kind of still probably handy if you're only doing one track at a time. But if you're doing multiple or more than one, so in that band scenario, or even just singer-songwriter, like playing acoustic guitar, or even just like if you're using, you're doing electronic music and you're using a lot of the same sounds, like my typical, like I use a piano all the time. I'm always EQing the same piano over and over again. Why don't I just import it? And sometimes I forget to save the thing, you know, so I want to import it, and then like it's not there to import, and it's like just do it again from scratch, and it's kind of a waste of time, you know. If you're using like a lot of strings, you could save all your string parts. If you mix some strings together in one song, you could import it ideally. So that's something you can do in Pro Tools. You could never do that in Cubase, and it was a big like. Whenever I do something and I feel like a robot, could do this, then I think Cubase could do this. You know what I mean? Like it could do it for me. Why hasn't it been done for me? So I complained about this a couple of years ago on the forum. It took them a long time to make it. Finally, it's in here. So I'm going to test it out and actually see if it works, because I'll be annoyed if it doesn't work. Okay, so previously you'd come here and you would like I said, you would save the selected channel, blah blah blah. This is if you wanted to actually have the volume as well, you know, which normally you want. You've got like your channel presets, but then like it is, you know, if you're working on hundreds of songs, it just gets kind of crazy, you know, so that's kind of useless. So the idea is, okay, so here is a song I've done for a songwriter, Rob, and he uses the same singer on a lot of his songs. So this is already mixed, however, but I'm just going to try to import one, and let's just see if I drag one from a previous song in. They have not implemented my project version idea, which is just a way of making this a bit less crazy. So you can put like a description. See, I'll put the description in the file name. Right, so you can see here I've done a few tweaks, right? So we could actually roll it back, like if you look here at this mix, it says better or worse. So either it got better or it was worse. So what I might do for fun is actually go back to this one. So let's click on this one. Alright, so it's doing this thing. I don't know what's happening here. It's reading it. Alright. So what I'm going to try to do is just put all of this back in, because we didn't have snapshots when I made this. This is what's cool about snapshots, is you can roll things back. But should I try to import it all, or is that too crazy to do right now? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Let's just select everything. How long does it take to select everything? Select all. Oh, not very long. Okay. So if I don't want the events, because we already have them, I want the channel settings. Automation is an important part of a mix. Actually, when I made this suggestion for mix version, I did intend to be able to save the automation. So if you're watching this Steinberg, when someone makes a suggestion and you do it, just talk to them about how to implement it the best, you know, like it's just, I guess they don't want to pay anyone, they don't want to pay me for it, but, you know, I mean, come on guys, you know, just like, have a chat to me. I would have said also it needs the automation too. No, I didn't want a snapshot of just a mixer. I meant mainly for the project. So I didn't call it mixer snapshot. I call it mix version, which is the mixer independent of the editing. But I also want to be able to choose whether I want the automation in there or not. I think eventually they're going to do that, because a lot of people complained, and yeah, I mean that's what I intended when I suggested it. But I didn't actually write a detailed way of how to implement it. I wouldn't have probably put it on the mixer, but you can still put it on the mixer. Anyway, just add the automation on it. So I'm going to try to import everything now. So let's see what happens if I try to import this. Now what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to work out something that's got like the same name and match it up. And obviously this should be the same name, because it's just a different version of the same project. Yeah, but you know, we've got guitars and stuff in here. The other thing we could do is we could take something like guitar preset from another song that I might have used that same recording on. I don't know if I recorded another song that day though. I don't think I did. Yeah. Alright, so we're not taking the events, we're going to take the channel, we're going to take the automation. and absolute position. Yeah, I mean, we're not putting events in, so that shouldn't matter. Select matching, new track. Select matching. Ooh, look at this. It's found all the tracks. That's crazy. See, this is what I'm talking about. Look how long that would have taken to manually import. Ooh, that's cool. All right. So it should just replace them all. You can replace the channel inspector settings and the automation. All right. Okay. Is anything happening? Or is it the same? Oh no, things are happening. Okay, stuff is happening, guys. Stand by. It's loading the instruments back in. So it does the instruments too. I mean, I didn't really need it to do that. I didn't see a way to not do the instruments. Okay, so suggestion, let you separate the instruments from the effects, because if Steinberg's watching this, which they may or may not, I mean, this is just a waste of time. Look, I'm waiting for these instruments to load back. And what if this was an orchestral score? You know, this would take forever. All right. So let's have a look at that again. Was there a way to separate it? I didn't see a way. What's going on here? Has it wiped? Whoa! It crashed. Okay, so maybe it's not ready yet. I didn't see it. Did it wipe the tracks? I didn't see anything on the tracks. That was weird. That was weird, guys. And this is the bug that I have discovered. All right, so let's say, okay, here we have a vocalist in this song. Now, she also sings in some other songs for Rob. He's a songwriter I work with. Now, if I want to import the vocal from another song to compare them to see, or to make a consistent sound over an album, which is something you would commonly do if you're working on a mix, you would you'd want a consistent vocal. You know, you listen to artists like Snoop Dogg, and his vocal sounds exactly the same in every single song. You know, and I mean, like, clearly they're using the same settings. You know. And a lot of he probably has the same engineer, but even if he doesn't, use the same microphone, try to get it almost the same, and like get it mixed the same, even if different people are mixing it, you know. Now, if I want to bring in this vocal from this song without actually opening it, now I can't do select matching because this is called lead vox comp, and it's looking for lead vox, so I still have to manually select it here. So I don't want to bring in an automation. I don't want to bring in the vocal track recording. I just want the channel setting. Okay, so here is the bug, people. Are we watching? Look what happened to my automation. It's gone. Don't worry about this. This is just saying that was a different, you know, sound card that I was on when I made this, because we're in the new studio now. But anyway, look what happened to my automation. It's freaking gone. Just gone. That's not the same. That's not the same as save, like to go in the song, save the mixer channel, bring that in. It doesn't wipe the automation. Let me show you. All right, so let's undo it. Okay, so now I'm going to manually go into that song and bring in the vocal. All right, so let's come in and we're going to open it. It's going to take a while. And this is the reason, yeah, I have to activate it because I need the mixer settings. This is the reason why I suggested this as a feature, because this literally takes hours of your day. You know, if you're doing a whole album, you can spend a long time actually trying to save your track presets or mix songs from scratch. I mean, it doesn't make sense to spend a long time to mix your songs from scratch when you can import the settings, but sometimes just copying the settings over takes a long time. And this is probably the worst thing about Cubase. I love everything else about Cubase. It does a lot of things that Pro Tools can't do and other programs can't do. But I'm just going to abort loading that. But yeah, this is just a feature that Pro Tools does really well that Cubase really needed. So I suggested on the forum, you really need to put this in. And they haven't really put it in right. You know, it's not done correctly yet. You know, and considering that I was the one who suggested this, it would have been nice had they actually sent it to me to troubleshoot and see if it actually works properly, you know. So okay, so here we have a different song with the same singer. You can even see by looking at this, I'm using some of the same plugins, you know, the same compressor, and even that tube thing on her voice, which is not something I would normally put on, but for her I use it. So there are a couple of ways to do this. You could come here and you could save an effects chain preset, of course. But what I normally do is I come over here and oops, not load, sorry, my bad. And I want to save it, save selected channel, and I'll give this a name, projects temp demo. See, I actually did this on another video, but it was too long. So we're doing it again. And I got too angry. Well, it's frustrating because that's why I actually brought the update, and I was excited because they did my idea. But if they're doing someone's idea, first of all, they should tell them they're doing it, you know. And second of all, they should give it to me to test out. And third of all, you should at least consult with me and ask how to implement it. And I would have said, what's going to happen? I would have just said, what's going to happen? Can you import the automation? And they allowed you to import it, but they didn't really think like, okay, it doesn't make any sense. You can import it, or you can choose not to import it. But if you choose not to import it, it will wipe the automation that you already have there. I mean, like, why? You know what I mean? So that's a problem. I wouldn't update for that feature because I don't really see myself using it, even though I suggested the damn thing. I do see myself kind of using it if I was recording a full band. See, I don't do a lot of that work anymore because I'm in a smaller studio here in Hollywood. I'm mainly working with singers and rappers, you know, and I'm not doing a lot of band work, you know, that I used to do in my older studio. I'm sort of mainly focusing on the electronic music production and you know, hip hop and R&B and stuff, and producing for singers and rappers and recording them. So anyway, I'm not doing a lot of that sort of work, but it would be handy to sort of like bring an orchestra that I've mixed in one song. So you know, if I mix LA scoring strings, I have some nice sounding EQs and stuff. On some strings, violins, and cellos, I use strings, violins, cellos, basses in another song. It'd be handy to be able to bring those over. But if it's going to wipe my automation data, I might not be able to bring them over. Sometimes I will if I haven't automated things yet. If I have, I still have to manually open the song and bring it over. So I just went over to that song now, and I've manually saved the mixer settings in the old-fashioned way, and now we're going to come in and we're going to manually bring it in. And the good thing about this is that it also makes the undo from the mixer mix console. So over here, you'll be able to see it on your undo list. Okay, here's my temp demo. Alright, so I've loaded that in, and let's come back and look, the automation has stayed. So it is not a replacement for that feature, and that's what I want it to be, a replacement for saving the individual channels in a song and being able to bring them over to a new song, you know. So this video has been pretty long. I was going to go through all the cool little things of Cubase. Okay, so there is this new Padshop synth we're going to check out. Padshop 2. Okay, so I mainly use Omnisphere and stuff for pads, but it's my new invention. This is in stand desk, so I can raise the height slightly. So now it's right height for playing piano. I forgot to bring in my pedal though. I go and grab that with my feet. Alright, pull that a little closer. Okay, so this is the new Padshop. Now I'm going to compare that to some other stuff that I already have, like Omnisphere. And let's see if it's any good. Let's point this down. Should we point it down more at the keys? Can you see okay? You can kind of see okay. Alright. I assume that's nothing, but it sounds like a kind of like a sine thing. So let's actually load in a real sound. Alright. So it kind of, because it's a Cubase plugin, I mean, you can press across, but it kind of like it basically does it like if you were to save it yourself, you know what I mean? Like you would normally see this window if you came up here and had your own track presets, which I have none. Oh, actually it all appears in here as well, so that's interesting. And look, there's categories and stuff too. What happens if you do it in this one? I don't see the categories. We might be able to expand it out. Shuffle. What I would actually suggest, see, I don't use a lot of Steinberg since I mainly use third-party ones. I'd actually suggest doing it from here, because look at this. Padshop 2. And you've got like some categories and stuff and subcategories. So that just seems like a bit of a smarter way. Okay, I'm assuming the piano sounds like shit. So should we do the worst sound first? Acoustic piano. Hear how that sounds? Oh, and then we got illusions. Alright. So I should just be able to run over it without actually clicking on it. I can stay. Whoa, what's going on here? It's kind of like doing an arpeggio. What if I play a few notes? Alright, well, I would call that useless. When are we going to want to do that? I want to play my own piano. Okay, anyway, whatever. Let's actually do some pads and stuff. Oh, there's other things in here and leads and stuff. I didn't really know it had leads, to be honest. Back in time. Alright. So we make it sound like we're going back in time then? It's not amazing. What's this one? First place. I mean, this is a cheap sound. I mean, you can do a better one in silence, to be honest. Oh, it's actually monophonic too. Actually, it's a little cooler than I thought it was. Ooh. Yeah, I mean that's kind of usable. All right, what's this? Flowing. That's basically just an arpeggiator, nothing too fancy. What happens if I play like something like not a normal chord though? Yeah, well, that was a little more interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. It's just not amazing. See, Steinberg, they can't really compete with native instruments and stuff like that, I feel like, you know. Like, I'm more like, I kind of feel like they're trying too hard, and maybe they should just stick to working on the software or team up with someone like Native Instruments, you know. Because you've got things like Omnisphere, it's just going to blow this thing out of the water. I mean, it's cool, but, you know, it's not mind-blowing, you know, but I guess it's not a mind-blowing price either. It's fairly low price. So that was kind of cool. What is this? This is a bit outdated, to be honest. It's playing a lot of notes that I'm not playing. What's it doing? It looks like maybe like a minor chord with some color tones. It's pretty full on, actually. Alright, what's this? I tend to like synths where I can actually play the damn thing. Okay, well. I could see you using that in like a trap song or something. Alright, let's try something different. It took an unexpected turn there, didn't it? It has some weird tones. Bell with crazy tones. That's not bad. You can have a lot of trippy sounds like this in Omnisphere. My personal first impressions is kind of what I expected. It can't compete with Omnisphere. But it sounds okay. It has some weird creepy sounds that could be useful if you were doing like film scoring. Very dissonant. Sounds very dissonant and crazy. Alright. Alright. Yeah, I mean, sure, that's kind of cool. These are the, I guess, film scorey kind of type pads. Actually, not what I was expecting. And some of them are just silly that you would never use. Like this is just kind of sounds a bit cheap, to be honest. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so here's what I have to say about it. Just quick little look at some of the pads. If you don't have something like Omnisphere, this is good. And Omnisphere is very expensive. So, I mean, coming with Cubase, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, you know. There's some cool pads in here. You can definitely use these, and they're actually a little better than I thought they were going to be. It sounds like it's got a bit of an organ on it, you know, but it's not an organ, you know. But I don't really see myself using it in a song, you know. Yeah, I kind of think like these are just generic sounds, really. There's nothing amazing about this, you know. It's okay, but it's pretty cool if you don't have pads, you know. Pads is more like about what you play on them than like the sound itself, you know. I can make most of those kind of sound cool, you know. What's this? Maybe I can't make that one sound cool, but most of them I can make sound cool. What is the runner? This sounds like an interesting name. I like when they have weird names. I'm expecting like that's not what I thought it would be like at all. Whatever. I mean, it's okay. So the pads, they're okay. For something that's called Padshop, I mean, they're not amazing. They're okay. You know, I'm going to show you Omnisphere if you haven't seen it before. So I'm going to go straight out and say if you have Omnisphere, you don't need this. This shouldn't be the reason for the update. Ooh. But sometimes, you know, you might find a cool sound. This is too weird though. Alright, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. That was not too bad. Alright, but compared to Omnisphere, it's not in the same ballpark at all. This is turning to be quite a negative review for the Cubase update, to be honest. Okay, Omnisphere. But is it worth 60 bucks? Yeah, sure, why not? It's not really on the same level as the pads and stuff in Omnisphere, which obviously is not free and included in Cubase. However, if you are into pads and stuff, I would highly suggest check out Omnisphere, because it's just got some cool sounds. That was also going through my mic, so I probably should have killed the mic. I'll kill it on the next one. Like, this is just a lot of cool pads. Oh, well, that's a bit like older actually. This has got like a lot of like cool pads that keep sort of changing. Like they have a lot of motion in them. They keep changing over time. See this? It's got like this little swirl thing going. That's cool. That's what I would want to see in a pad shop, you know. Okay, so the camera's only got 1%, so it might die, but I'm just going to show the screen, okay, if it dies. Anyway, I've got this cool thing here. I've brought up some brass, and I'm going to do like a little inspirational video of my desk moving up and down. Alright. I should, yeah, okay. It should stop when the thing stops. Okay, so. Wait. More dramatic there. Let's take it from there. You know what? I'm just gonna take that second half. The first bit was pretty good. I like the stop. This will be funny, and then we're gonna try to export it to the video rather than having to bring it into like some other software because I'm too lazy for that. And export to video. That's what we're talking about. All right. It needs to resolve. Alright, yeah, it's kind of cool. I could probably do something better, but like it fits with the video. But the glue tool looks different to me. Okay. I like it just stops. You have to press a button again. It stops until he's looking around. Ooh. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. There's some notes there that need to be fixed. They need to be a little bit longer. They get cut off a bit early. Anyway, we can edit that. Not gonna worry about it just yet. Let's come in. I saw this auto quantize. I never really used this thing. What does it quantize on? What this is on? I'm too scared to use it, but I'm gonna mess with that at some point. That would be cool for what I'm doing right now. But I'm too scared to use it. I'll try that later. Alright, so I'm just gonna add a bit more drama. So I put a little dole thing here. Epic dole, they call it. Oh shit, what do I do there? I gotta stop it. Alright, let's try that again, take two, because I was pretty out of time with that. I wasn't listening to the click enough. I think the brass is slightly out of time, I gotta fix it. I didn't quantize it. Hey, that's pretty funny. That's my desk moving up and down with music. This is actually not bad. This is a good joke. All right. I probably should quantize it. How out of time is it though? It's mainly. Let's have a look here. Oh, the smart tool is messing me up. Damn you, smart tool. How do you turn it off? Oh, I see. All right. Well, let's just hide that for now. F8, F8. Okay. All right. So that's in time now. Let's check it out. Let's put the video on. Let's see my little arrangement. Then we're gonna do the export to video. So this is how when you might want to actually use it. Just a little example when you might want to actually do something to video and export it. So it's just a fun little thing. It's not even a movie. It's just like I could put this on Facebook or something. People would think this is funny. Yeah, can I make this a little bigger for you guys? Alright, so let's play it back. Okay. Just turning the metronome off. Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, cool. That last hit is out of time. I'd bring it over. Like it just seems too early. It should end on the bar. It's like half a bar. It's weird. Yeah, alright. Now let's export that to the video because that's cool and we can put that on Facebook and it'll be funny. Now I would normally do a bit of a mix, but for the process of this, like my camera's about to die, I'm just the video's too long, the YouTube video's too long, I'm just gonna export it. So let's come here and see if the thing actually works. So select our N region. So there's nothing happening after this. And we're about to do our little export to the video now. So let's see if it works. File, export, video. H64, it's got a whole bunch of settings here, but it looks like it's stealing the ones from the video, so that's good. You know, so it's probably going to work. Stereo out, you can do a real-time export between where the locators is where it's going to export. That's good. Let's export the video. Exporting audio mix down. Oh, it exports the audio first. Then it does the video. I must put them together. Interesting. Alright. So let's go to this temporary folder and see if we can play back our video. Oh, bloody hell. What did I call it? I don't know. Funny keyboard video. Alright. A lot of things in my temporary folder. Funny keyboard video. It's working! This is the best bit. Alright, it's not amazing, but apparently if that was amazing I can bring it back. I'm gonna keep going until like I actually like something. Ooh, that's not bad. I don't like the end. That's cooler. No. Alright. It's okay, whatever. So if it was amazing and you wanted it, you could bring it back. Now, the way that I'm playing, you don't really want it stacked like this, but I believe it is going to stack them. See, it just stacks them. There might be a way to make this unstacked, but I'm not sure. Is there like a way to... I didn't really get any other options with here. I think where is the actual retrospective record thing? I forget where it is. This is why I like the new button. Because not only do I forget what I played, but I forget where respective record is. Media? Audio? It's not audio. MIDI. Well, it is MIDI, sort of. I forget where it is, guys. You probably know where it is if you use this retrospective recording. Oh, here it is. MIDI retrospective recording. Insert all from all MIDI inputs. Insert. Okay. So I was playing more linear like. So you would press that one. There you go. I thought I could find it. So yeah, that's how I would do it. I would do it like that. And that's better. But it could also stack them for guys that like playing in loops. You might be playing something, you play it different, you play it different, you play it different. You know, if you're working on a beat or a hip hop track and you're doing it over a loop and you forget what you did. You know, but usually I'm just actually sitting here actually just trying to come up with an idea. And it is really handy to be able to lay it back. But I just want to show you how you could do it in a loop section. And then if you did play in a loop section, how you can not have it in a loop section. This will do it linear. Yeah, so to summarize, it was under transport. I don't know if that's a new spot. I think maybe it is, because I couldn't find it. Yeah, anyway, and you go linear, or you can go cycle. And you can just empty your buffers, which I guess, I don't know why you would want to do that. Might save some memory. To be honest, you know, you can do this with the key commands, but for anyone that doesn't like using key commands, and it's just, I mean, it is quicker. You can kind of come here. Let's say you want to make a cut here and cut there. So with this smart tool thing, you can kind of just come in here. You can select the region. Then you can grab it from the bottom. Oh, sorry, not from the bottom, from the middle, was it? Let's try this again. Yeah, from the middle, it turns into this hand thing, and you can just move it. So that's kind of cool. You know, so I guess it saves so like doing a lot of cuts and stuff. Saves a bit of time. You know, but let's just see how it works with the automation. So it looks like you can select a bunch of automation like usual, and can scale it up and down. You can still do your normal editing, and then it swaps to this other tool, you know, so it just sort of keeps swapping, you know, in between tools, so you don't really have to be, you know, doing a lot of the swapping yourself. Anyway, so yeah, then we've got the hand. Oh, what is this? Scale vertically. Oh, we've got a few little new things here. Scale vertically. Oh yeah, that's what I just did before. Move vertically. I don't really know what the difference is. Move, scale. Looks pretty similar. I can shift it over. I mean, it's just a little smarter. It's called a smart tool. It's just a little smarter. Alright, so we just saw some drama. We saw Tom getting excited. We saw Tom getting mad. We saw things working. We saw things crashing. Is the update good? I mean, I think it's intended to be good. I would just wait off on it for a couple of months, maybe. That's my quick little summary, you know. And Cubase, generally speaking, or historically speaking, I should say, have been pretty advanced and far ahead of the competition, that you could still wait 6 months and still have features before they appear in Pro Tools, definitely. You know, in terms of the production side, though, Studio One's sort of slaughtering a little bit in terms of speed. They're bringing out updates and new things like all the time, so they're kind of winning, I think, in terms of innovation. So I do think Steinberg need to get back to innovating. They're listening to the customers, that's good. They're listening to requests of mine on the forum, other people on the forum. They're putting it in Cubase, so they're listening to their customers. That's what they need to be doing. But I think they also just need some smart people like myself working for them. I mean, I'm not saying I should work for them. I'm probably too busy. Maybe I could be a consultant or something, right? But I think they need some people working there that are more innovative, because these are the same guys that invented VST. You know, every time you use a virtual instrument in your DAW, if you're a producer, right, and you know what I'm talking about, that was invented by Steinberg, right? Every time you use the ASIO driver, so you get no delay or whatever on your sound card, that was invented by Steinberg. All these new mixing desks and all these studios running on Yukon, that was invented by Steinberg and Euphonics, you know. Even like the MIDI in general, like I think they might even be the first MIDI editor ever, like on Atari, like even before anyone else, like they were the first ones to even like make anything. So they've been around for a very long time, and the company is huge. I just worry that like since Yamaha took it over, they've slowed down. Like their features have been like a little like less mind-blowing, you know. And that's what this update is. It's a practical update. It's a little rebellious. Hey, Pro Tools has this, we're going to steal it. Oh, people want this, we're going to put it in. You know, that's kind of cool. You know, they should be doing stuff like that. You know, I think they definitely need to be testing this stuff a little more. You know, I will be using Cubase 10.5, and I will enjoy Cubase 10.5 and the new features when they fix them. I hope they see this video and they fix them. I'm probably going to put on the forums, you know, some things that I'm working so that they know, because they might not be watching my video. Let's face it, who knows if they're going to see this, right? So anyway, yeah, once the bugs are ironed out and stuff like that, I'm sure that it's going to be fine. Hope you enjoyed the adventure. If you've been thinking about getting to Cubase for a while, definitely just don't take any negativity away from it. It's just because it's like the first day, and I was dumb enough to think that it was going to work. But I mean, like it takes them a whole year to release something. You would think it would work when, especially the new features. You know what I mean? Like you think the new feature would be working when they release it. You know, but it's a little buggy, so whatever. I'm just gonna hold off on a little while before I'm actually using it in the studio. But the thing with Cubase is, by the time 11 comes out, if you just wait and buy 11 when it comes out, you're kind of paying for it anyway. You know what I mean? Like you pay extra to upgrade to 11, so you might as well just get the update even if you don't use it. And actually, if you wait until 11 comes out, if I don't know if they'll stop doing this because too many people start doing the workaround, maybe they'll stop doing this. But at the moment, technically speaking, you could buy 10.5, wait until 11 comes out, activate it, and they'll give you 11 for free, right? With no extra cost, you know. I actually I teach beat making, piano, and making stuff on the machine, you know, playing everything and that sort of thing. And one of my students, he was an older guy, and he said to me, "Hey Tom, guess what? I was looking through my garage and I found a version of Cubase, and it was like 10 years old or something." I was like, "Oh, you should install that just for fun, you know what I mean? See what happens." And he's like, "Yeah, all right, I'll try to install it." So he went to install it, and then Steinberg was like, "Oh, thank you for activating. There's a newer version out. We're going to give you the newer version." They give him brand new Cubase, even though his version of Cubase was 10 years old. That's very nice. So some things they do nice. They do kind of care about their customers. I think they just have some internal politics. They need to sort that shit out. They need to be testing shit more. That's my little summary. Stay tuned. I know the video is too long. Shorter videos are coming. I'm going to be actually making some songs for artists in the studio. You're going to see me playing keys, playing everything in from scratch, making songs from the ground up, mixing them, mastering them, and also doing some lessons in that stuff. So there's some cool stuff coming to this channel. I'm going to revive the channel a little bit. So if you're one of my subscribers from like 8 years ago, if you're still around, you know, stay subscribed. Keep looking at the videos, and new guys subscribe, because aren't really many, I don't know many at all, established producers, been doing this for 17 years, that are on YouTube doing videos, because we usually don't have time, to be honest, you know. There's just no time to be doing videos. But got a new location here in Hollywood, trying to promote the new studio, and that means you get some cool videos. So stay tuned, stay subscribed. This has been Tom from Current Sound. Bye.